for today, we have, I think it's supposed to say Emily. Emily paid $1.12 for a dozen eggs. Determine the cost of 3 eggs. We're going to set up a proportion. If you look, our first rate, how would we write this as a fraction? Over how many eggs are a dozen? 12. So we have over 12. We know that we have money in the numerator and eggs in the denominator. We're setting that equal to a fraction. We want to determine the cost of 3 eggs. So we put 3 in the numerator or in the denominator? Denominator with eggs. And we're going to cross multiply. We multiply the two numbers we know how to multiply. $1.12 times 3. And what do you get?
$3.36.
And we divide by our leftover number, which is 12.
Equaling 28 cents.
And we get 0.28. So we know that it costs 28 cents for 3 eggs.
Okay.
Today's lesson is on constant rate of change. Our target is students will be able to calculate rate of change from tables and graphs and describe a linear relationship. Okay, for our notes for today, the rate of change is a rate that describes how one quantity changes in relation to another. In a linear relationship, the rate of change between two quantities is constant or the same. A rate of change is usually expressed as a unit rate. And you can use a table or graphs to find rate of change. Okay, the table shows the number of miles a plane traveled. Use the information to find the constant rate of change in miles per minute. So for rate of change, they're asking us to find the what? So we're trying to find the unit rate. The rate of change is usually expressed as unit rate. You want to look back at the wording. We have miles per minute. We are going to use that to set up our unit rate. Whatever comes first, miles, we're putting that in our numerator. Per is our divide or fraction bar per minute. So if we notice here, we have change in y over change in x for our rate of change. So if we look, you always are doing y over x. So our y values are our miles. Let's look at our distance. Each time, what are we increasing or decreasing by? To go from 290 to 580, we're adding what?
590.
We're adding 290. To get from 580 to 870, we're adding 290. And to get from 870 to 1160, we're adding 290. So each time our change in miles is 290. Our change in minutes, to go from 30 to 60, what are we doing? Adding 30. From 60 to 90, we are adding 30. And from 90 to 120, we're adding 30. So what we're going to do is simplify this rate, and we want to get it, unit rates have a denominator of what? 1. So how do we get from 30 to 1?
30
Divide by 30. We have to do the same thing to the numerator. Divide by 30. So we have 9.6 repeating, or we know that we are going 9.6 miles per minute.
Wait, but it turns into a sandwich. Yeah, doesn't it turn into a sandwich?
Yes, it rounds at the end. Because your calculator cannot go repeating 6 forever. Okay, we can also use a graph to find our unit rate. The graph represents the distance traveled by driving on a highway. Find the constant rate of change. We're going to choose 2 points. And remember, we're doing change in y over change in x. So I'm going to just choose 2 points. I'll choose this one and this one. When I start, I'm going to start to the left. Right here, what is my y value? 60. And if we're changing, we're going to from 60 to 120. What are we changing? Are we adding or subtracting? Adding, and how many? 60. So that's my change in y. My change in x, I'm starting at 1 and I'm going over to 2. Am I adding or subtracting? Adding, and what am I adding? 1. So we have 60 over 1, which means 60 miles per 1 hour. If you look at the graph, we want to explain what these 2 points mean. 0, 0 would mean what? That is our origin, and that means that we're going 0 miles in 0 hours. The point 160, we have our x and our y. Our value for x is 1, so we're at 1 hour, and that means that we've driven how far?
Oh, it says 0, 0. Nowhere. Stay the same.
60, we're at 60 miles. So our 160 represents our unit rate. And the unit rate is 60 miles per hour, which is the same as our rate of change. Okay, I want you to go ahead and try the 2 on your own problems.